Okay. Manchester United is playing. So there is a way. I'm also stressed, but very happy. No, we've scored a goal. But usually when we start like that, it gets to a point and then Arsenal is going to score and then now Twitter is going to go wild. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, as per usual, welcome to yet another episode of the TalkTrack. My name is Roy. I'll be your host for the evening. My AKAs include Kamada, Muganda wa Lufafa, Nofachi Nevyensi, Achawagira Manu, Alchemist, I don't know what else. Morris gave me a ton of nicknames. Every week I get a new one. So Mukwano gwa mama tawana. And we're here again for another interesting episode of the Talk Track. As usual, we're Plot 8B, Gabla Road. Shout out to Barrow House for giving us the platform where we can, speak, even when people assume we're just alcoholics. We do not own any of the rights to the music. Yeah. No, don't hide the bottle. We don't own any of the rights to the music playing in the background or any music that you might hear. And also a disclaimer, the opinions presented on this forum are not in any way dictated by the Kara Junkies. They're just independent thoughts presented by participants of the Talk Track. And as per usual, the Talk Track is an independent production of the Kara Junkies. It is edited, produced, sound mixed, and videographed by Morris, aka Moro, aka Just Morris, aka Mutabani wa Mama Tawana, aka Owakara Bike. Yeah, and so let me start. How have you guys been? You just tell me. It's been a long week.
Oh, we are really good.
It's
been a long week, and finally today it has rained.
It rained. You don't. I've never been this excited, and I wasn't even excited because no more heat. No, I was just excited because of the dust.
Yeah.
Like there is not going to be dust for at least. But you know what's funny? It's going to rain like this, and it's going to be a very hot night because I can already feel it. Yeah, and then tomorrow morning it's going to be back to business as usual, which is very sad. I don't like this. Anyway, I was listening to a song that I'm not going to mention here because of, again, copyright things. By the way, just straight up, artists should give us the opportunity to use their music for free.
We are selling them.
Well, I'm just politely requesting. Anyway, so I was listening to a song today.
They should pay us.
They should
play
pay
their music.
Exactly. Like the copyright management system that Eddie Kenzo and team are planning on putting across. Did you guys have any idea of that? How they're trying to get Ugandan artists to earn from copyright management, but in one way, shape, or form, it just seems like it's another way to tax Ugandans. Yeah. So there is a very intelligent individual on Twitter called Engineer Faizo who broke it down. I highly advise you guys to actually go and just read because he's a telecommunications engineer, so he understands that entire concept. And he broke it down really, really beautifully in terms of the expenses that are going to go in and the kind of returns we might get and any mitigations that may come forth like during the entire process. Like, for example, what if bars just stop playing Ugandan music altogether? Because the thing is, there's supposed to be a fee levied on any entity that plays Ugandan music such that Ugandan musicians can earn. But that means bars, that means at your wedding, that means mukafunda, mulimo onywera, when you want to hide from people, a chivulu, all those things. So the sustainability aspect of it does not really make sense. But when you look at Engineer Faizo's breakdown on Twitter, shout out to him, he really broke it down well. So it's very easy to understand when he does. But back to music, and there was a song I was listening to that spoke on self-love and self-recognition and self-awareness, and it got me thinking about the entire concept of validation, both external validation and self-validation. In the generation, in the world we live in right now, I like to call it the world of likes, the world of retweets, and the world of comments. It's very, very easy. It has become very, very easy for us to fall into the trap of doing things simply because we want other people to notice that we're doing these things, right? We've gone away from doing things because we love them, because we're passionate about it, because, this is something we've grown up always wanting to do. I've actually had people talking, I'm becoming a doctor because it's cool, because I want people to respect me in society. And I'm like, but okay, taking away from the people, are they going to be with you in that operation theater when you're struggling because you entered this simply for validation? Are people going to be with you on stage when you're sweating your behind off simply because you got into music for validation? So things like that. And then as usual, I prepare questions. By the way, I always think before, and then I write down my questions. But let's just start off small. I have a ton, but I'll start off like, have you guys ever hyped yourself in the mirror, like in the morning? Have you ever hyped yourself up in the mirror? Like you wake up and look at yourself in the mirror and you go, man, I'm a Haji. Yeah?
That's like the affirmations we do always in the morning.
Really?
You're beautiful, you believe in yourself, you can do this, it's going to be a good thing.
I was just about to ask you, like, if you do it, what's your go-to pep talk? And then you just give it to us. And why do we think it's necessary? Like, because that is something a lot of people have actually started embracing in this day and age. I know of a lot of people who wake up and look at themselves in the mirror and consistently remind themselves that they matter, that they are beautiful, that they are worthy, that, they are seen. So why is it necessary now, especially more than ever, for us to have routines like that?
It's to do with the mind. Like, for example, if you tell yourself, I am beautiful, I'm intelligent, I believe in myself, no one is going to tell you all those things. You need to hear it from yourself first, and then other people will see, oh my God, like she's intelligent, she's beautiful, just from the way you talk, just from the way you do your thing. So if you don't believe in yourself, no one is going to believe in you. So you have to always believe in yourself, and then people will also believe in you. And that's how you can also inspire other people.
So, Dorena, do you have something to add there?
I'm agreeing.
You're agreeing?
I am agreeing, because guess what? We are so stuck in the element of seeking or wanting love.
Yeah.
You see, however much you come and tell me you love me tomorrow, if I don't love myself, it's not going to be wholesome.
Yeah.
So that means I want to look and seek for love from here, then I look again, maybe I'm not getting it very well from this person.
Yeah.
Because you're wanting to take all the focus and attention because you want that love. But the moment you love who you are, the rest of it is easy. It's easy for people to love you for who you are, no? Yeah. In that you're not going to try and please anyone. So basically, the people who are going to be in your space are people who want to be in your space. It means you're going to be happier. It means you're going to be more confident. It means you're going to be more free from all of these things that pull us back in life. It means you're going to approach life in a much more positive manner, because let's be honest, life has its negatives. But the moment you love, believe in yourself, the rest of it is easy. Because everyone wants to be next to a cool person, no?
Yeah.
So if people can sense your energy is good, and quite often that's the thing, because that's why we give ourselves such talks every morning, like self-affirmations, of remind yourself, because someone won't tell you.
Yeah.
Half the time, what we're doing as human beings is try to tear people down so that we feel like we are better than them, instead of reminding ourselves that we are good enough. So you end up, it's a whole cycle. You end up being stuck. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So that's why I said agreed.
Yeah.
Also, when you do things that you're proud of, it will make you love yourself even more and more.
Yeah.
But if you do negative things, you won't be proud of yourself. You will not love yourself. But when you do good things, you're proud of yourself, and it also gives you an opportunity to remember that I believe in myself. I'm a good person. It will help you, and also not to seek love from other people.
Yeah, speaking of, I like that we've gone into the aspect of self-love, because I know there's two forms of validation. There's self-validation, the pep talks we give ourselves. I'm good enough, I'm worthy, I can do this, you can't put me down. I am the only kind of person that can actually do what I'm doing. And then there is external validation, that now more than ever is actually easier to access, because you post a picture on Instagram and you're looking for likes. That's external validation. You retweet, you put witty banter on Twitter and you're waiting for comments and retweets. That's all external validation. But putting aside external validation, which I think as human beings we all fall prey to every once in a while, let's first stick on self-validation. Do you think self-validation is a skill that we can develop as human beings, or are some people just naturally very good at it?
I think it has to do with childhood. Like in the society that we are born, from childhood, we have grown up in an environment where we have to think of what people think about us. What will they say? Oh, my mom will say this if I smoke, or if I want to be a musician, but I can't be a musician because I have to study to be a doctor. It's always about what will the neighbors say, what will the people say, always.
The
so
neighbor.
It's from childhood. So we grow up with this kind of mentality, and then in future, it's so hard to embrace and let go of such characters.
Yeah. Okay. that
But
is.
can I add on that?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
it's
yeah,
quite
definitely.
true.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. I think as human beings, it is a sense of belonging to feel like you're doing what everyone is doing. Now, remember, however, I keep saying this, quite often the people who set the standards are setting standards because that is where they are. So basically, they're saying, this is where I am. You should be like me for you to be a specific kind of person. That is why we have things like classism. That is why we have so many kinds of things that come through, because there's someone there who has set a standard so that they are better, so that they are looked up to. So whilst we're doing that, from childhood, we're saying, for you to belong, you should behave like a particular so and so and so. And that particular so and so is doing it so that they seem different or unique. So until you master the fact that we are all different people, all these classes and ways and what, someone decided I am the standard. Okay? And that time, that's why I said things change. And currently, the era we are in is also different. You understand? That's why we're having a lot of people now, for example, through these platforms we've mentioned, where people are saying, well, I can make friends easily. In the past, you had to make friends within your circle or the kinds that fit in your, or you know. So in the process, still, we get lost. Because it's different now. We can now have someone of a certain caliber be our friends, our teacher, our son-in-law, our daughter-in-law. What, you know, the times are different. On social media, someone doesn't have to know you to like the certain. Because there are people I, for example, will follow or watch. Because I feel like I get it. You know, everyone has a story that looks like your story, or like we get to share things, and you're saying, "Oh, I belong." So we're all rushing to where we belong in a sense, so you know. And so we get lost in it. Like I said, it starts from very, like, all of us. Yeah, she also mentioned. And generations of that, because these are things we've carried on. You have aunties who are always poking their noses, and uncles and in-laws who are always complicating life, and you're having neighbors who are always, you know, that sort of thing. So we're living a life where I have to be liked. And I like that today the society is changing, no? Unless I'm mistaken. It's that today you can do something because, hey, I want to do this. Oh, I am tired. Can I please just get a break?
Yeah.
Even the way we handle our workspaces is different. Because now you know what? I have rights. I am a human being. I have a choice. You know? It's marriages. I mean, if you want to move. But before we had situations where, what will they say? Mwana wa gundi. What will they? And people are like, hey, we are tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from what I'm getting from you guys, I've taken the mic off the mic stand. I like the freedom of holding a microphone. So I think the answer to the question from your perspective, the both of you, is self-validation is something that is learned depending on the environment that we are surrounded by from the time we are very little. Because one thing I know for sure is your ability to love and believe in yourself actually starts from very, very young. I think it's an aspect of esteem, actually. When you look yourself in the mirror, or when you have an opportunity, your ability to say, I can be able to do that, starts from very young. Like you say, you have your aunties and your uncles and the people who are around you. If people around you are constantly telling you, nah, you're not good enough. Or when you told one time you tell your uncle, I want to be a doctor, and he's like, you who can't even tell your left from your right, and you want to be a doctor. But that, I need to inform people that's, especially with children in their formative ages, that stuff sticks with them.
Yeah.
That stuff sticks with them. That is why you have someone from an affluent family and they're opening an OnlyFans page, because that's what they feel they are good for. Because maybe as they were growing up, their very rich father kept telling them, you know what, you're not even good enough to run the business that I'm running. So what do you think I'm going? You've grown up in soft life, and the more our surroundings keep putting us down, I feel directly relates to how much we believe in ourselves as human beings, way into adulthood. And one thing I've realized is, in the society we're in now, it's very easy for us to mask these insecurities, right? Yeah. So as long as I get 200,000 likes on Instagram, I'm good. Everyone thinks I'm beautiful. But are you?
We're seeking approval.
Yeah, we're constantly seeking approval, which brings me to my next question. We've all been there. I want us to be as honest as possible. We've all been there. Yeah. Where we all say we don't care about likes. Yeah. But somehow deeply we do. And why does that have a hold on us? Like, why is that such a big thing for us in this day and age? Why is it that external someone you've never met, right, can dictate your entire mood for the whole day, simply because a comment they've placed on a picture you've posted, or because maybe they disliked a video that you put on YouTube? Why are we so pulled into the world of likes? Why do we care so much about that external validation, even when we say we don't?
Sorry. Here's the thing. These things are like stamps. Or like confirmation for all the negative things and the struggles we've been through in life. So here's the thing. We say we don't want the likes and what. But you see, the challenge is, once you get on that platform that requires that sort of response, yeah, and maybe people don't like the video you've posted, or they say they don't like how you look or how you sound, or blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. At some point in your life, why it will bother you, especially like, the bad comments. You find that for you, you're almost saying, oh my God, that's what I've been told all my life. Yeah? It's almost like looking in the mirror, but all you're seeing, like if you've been bullied in school, all you're seeing is anyone, it's even in physical real life. There are people that you'll tell, oh, you're smart, and they go, you're mocking me. Because their whole life someone told them, you get what I'm saying? That's, you get what I'm saying? There are things you live with. I am telling you, there are things you live with. You get to accept them as an adult. I remember I used to be a very tiny kid, and then after that I wasn't. So...
What was the routine? We'll talk about that.
So my entire life, to be honest with you, it took me a while. It did take me a while to be comfortable where I wore clothes that showed a bit of skin. Because in my mind, if I did, I was going to look funny and blubby and all of those things. And, because the comments that people say, and by the way, you leave people's children, there's people who, hey, Pnagomana, what did you? Such people.
Yeah, like me. Also,
so, yeah.
I've lost weight. You like every time you're in a place, everyone is you've lost weight. What's the problem? But I want to be like this. Growing up, I was big, and I always
opposites.
Yes, that's why when she was saying her story, I was like, okay, it's different for me, because I was always a fat child, and in my whole family, everyone is skinny, but I was the fat one. But everyone would make fun of me. Some people would even call me like, oh, diary, because I had big boobs. I really hated how I looked. But then when I reached the university and I started like losing weight, I started to like myself, the way I look. And every time I go out and I work out, I try my level best to make sure I stay like this. But people want me to be. They're still stuck to the way they knew me, but I don't care. I want to be like this.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with my weight now, and I love it. But every time they meet you, they try to put you down for how you look now. Yeah. So I don't want their validation. It's mine that matters.
By the way, I like how you've brought that up. Speaking especially in terms of external validation, what I've realized, especially in this day and age, and it's because, and I like relating it to celebrities because most times we forget that celebrities are human beings, right? Do you think that external validation from people is dependent on how much they can box you in? Because you do realize that majority of the time, people will like you for who you are until you do something different. Right? I've noticed that with a lot of our celebrities, by the way. Oh no, they're very good at romantic comedies. Why are they branching off into drama? Or they're very good at doing pop music. Why are they doing country? So is especially external validation, does validation from people really depend on the amount with which they can box you in into like a certain aspect?
Yeah, it's for them. It's not for you. See? And that's why I said when she gave her story, the same people who are calling her diary are the same people who will still say, oh my God, you're so skinny. Like, decide, what do you want from me? And usually we're having this problem because people are not doing it because they're concerned for you. When you're concerned for someone, you don't publicly be concerned. You get what I'm trying to say? I will come and engage you as a friend and we talk about it. I will come and engage Morris as a friend and we talk about it. But I'm not going to go and tweet. Okay, now it's called what?
I'm still tweeting.
Okay.
So, please.
So, I was a bit confused there. So, I'm not going to go and, oh my God, did you see blah, 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 blah. The thing is, people are doing it for themselves.
Yeah.
If I want to feel good about myself, I am going to try and put you into certain standards by there, which most of the time I'm not going to meet myself.
Yeah.
But I want to show that, oh, so you think you're way up there, but how come you're not doing that? And then quite often I turn and ask the next person, how about you? You get, recently I almost posted it. I was going to post it, and I think I will. So, Selena Gomez, yeah? And then it is very funny. Speaking after Women's Day, I'm not attacking men.
Oh, it's okay.
So these guys are in her comments, like basically bashing her. Oh, she looks like she's breastfed 5. She looks like she's the world has what? Because she's, she has an illness, but also, she's put on weight. You get what I'm saying from that? And then these people who are like, excuse us, who is this person talking about, this particular person?
Yeah.
And then they start showing the comment and the face to the comment. Half the time, the face. Sorry. Half the time, the person to the comment does not, they shouldn't be talking.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
They should not be talking.
Yeah.
Someone goes, oh, you're fat. And if you look at him, he's double the size, eh? Or her, or whatever. So here's the thing. I think we do these things to feel like we are better than others. And that's just human. I think we are wired like that in a sense because they say survival for the what?
For the fittest.
So at some point, we may not be literally in a jungle, but what we're doing is everyone is trying to feel like they are somewhere or someplace.
Yeah.
And with the pressures of the world where everyone should have taken certain steps, that's why you see everyone is saying, for me, for me, for me. The I's. Yeah. I have this, I have that, I've achieved that, I've this. Yeah, it's fine. I'm not saying don't get that degree or don't get that, whatever it is you're doing, do it. But what I'm saying is we often try to put people down. Even when they try to adjust, we bash them for doing that. So that goes to show that no matter what you do, someone is going to pick on something that they can land on for softer landing for themselves. Whether it's to feel better or feel like they've achieved in some way or feel like they are the better human being. And that's just what it is. So we end up wanting to seek validation because people who do those things are very vile in how they do things. They're very deliberate on stamping onto you.
Yeah.
And no one wants to be down.
True.
You get?
Yeah.
So while someone is doing that, naturally, you also don't want to be down. That's why we are all working so hard. That's why we're all wanting to be something or do something. So then in turn, you're like, okay, let me do this and maybe I'll seek approval from these people who feel I am down. So because you're saying, no, I cannot be down, you end up doing the most to fit in. But like we said, the moment you know, and I keep saying this, half of us walk this earth and we don't know who we really are.
Yeah.
That everyone else is trying to tell us who we are. That's how we get lost. And we've all been there. We've all got lost at some point.
True.
Until you realize, hey, this is me. I love me. This is what I do. You know? And the more you appreciate yourself, if you notice all of these, but you should this, you should that, they adjust, they follow. They follow, so they're like, okay, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
And I think the main goal
We're just understanding ourselves.
I have something to add on.
Yeah.
You know, there was a point in life where I was really lost because you hear people are saying this and these things could hurt your feelings and you don't want to go anywhere, you don't want to see people because of what people are talking about. So sometime I realized, it's not about those people because all they want to do is to make sure they put you down. So what you should do in life always, just do what pleases you, what makes you happy. If you fall, it's okay, it's normal. Life is like a lifeline. If it's straight, then you're dead. It will go down, it will go up.
It will go up.
So there is no way that you will always be happy or please
always
everyone.
sad.
So always do what makes you happy, believe in yourself, and make sure, even though you fail, just don't give up, come back up again, and do something else that you think you can do. That's the way to go.
So just again on external validation, because I think the concept of self-validation, we to a certain point as human beings understand it, because I think to a certain extent, I like that you said a lot of us don't know who we really are, or maybe we do but are just too scared to confront that. Because half of the time, if we are who we really are, it does not really conform to what society considers standards, right? Yeah. You're walking off the beaten path, right? If you are who you really are, sometimes you're going to go against everything that everyone considers. I don't like to use the word normal, but ordinary, right? Like, you can be flamboyant and you have to hide that aspect of you because that is not what society considers. What will people say, right? I remember Lizzo, and I'm happy for Lizzo because she has gotten to a point where, she's lost a bit of weight and she looks good, right? But remember before that, Lizzo was a champion of body positivity. I'm big and I love it. And people put her down for that, right? And yet, because I think in everyone's mind, why do you think you can look like that and be happy about looking like that? What the hell are you, right? Because there's certain beauty standards. Lizzo cannot be beautiful because she's plus size. And it just doesn't make sense most of the time. So I think half of the time when it comes to self-validation, it's not, I think it's, we as human beings know who we are. I think sometimes we're just really too scared to confront that aspect of ourselves because it does not necessarily conform to what society would consider ordinary.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. It took, in a time where a lot, even to date, it took a time where it was almost unacceptable, for the likes of us, and I'm not trying to be racist, to wear their hair open.
Yeah.
Because at some point there was a law that said our hair should not be opened. It should be tied in scarves. That's why up to now scarves or whatever, bandanas are part of our culture. Because we were told to not show our crowns. But guess what? One person said, what are you saying? Let me walk and see.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And today, when you have it, everyone's like, wow, beautiful. Okay, we're still struggling in some areas. But if someone didn't dare, for example, and I keep saying this, it's not that we're afraid of what we can unleash. We know how much power we have as each individual, each human being, no matter where you are. Even kids. Have you seen kids?
Yeah.
Children, there's an age where they are not afraid because they don't know what you're talking about. It is us who instill. Don't do this fear in them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to agree on the point of the set standards, okay? So people say, I shall not be like this, I shall not be like that. But quite often, if you realize the freedom that comes with being yourself, I know each one of us, if there's any incident you remember where you said, you know what, I am going to do what pleases me. Oh my God, the freedom that comes with that. And half the time it's not that bad. You're like, oh, I did it. You know? And the world, though in shock, will be like, oh, okay. And then they discover it's not that bad. You get what I'm saying?
True, yeah.
The thing is, I think also it comes with the confidence. Like we said, it starts from childhood, confidence levels, how do you train your mind as well. Of course, now as we're adults, it's now our responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's now for us to make sure we change some of these things, okay? Because also too much positive affirmation for some people, if they don't do it correctly, turns into arrogance.
That is true. That is
and
very,
arrogance
very
turns into very, very, like, it's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Bad manners,
Speaking,
ill manners.
yeah.
It's
Speaking
yeah.
of
Disrespect, yeah.
and ego.
Yeah.
Speaking of arrogance and ego, do you think that our consistent seeking of external validation is more for us, or it's just like an ego boost and like an ego trap?
It can be two-way, depending on who is using that. Who is using that?
Yeah.
You know?
Because is it necessary? Do we have to seek external validation, or is it just like an ego-centric aspect of us as human
Okay,
beings?
we may not need to seek it, but you see, like there is a reason why we're seeking it. It's an entire process. So many factors involved. Like I said, when you're young, you're told, oh no, you should, to be proper, that is how you walk, that is how you speak, that is how you eat. Literally, we're being told, no, this is not okay. Yeah? So some of the things are not in our control, maybe, because of the culture, the nature of, or background of, or whatever it is that we're from. Yeah. And that is why you see we sort of want to fit into what we call the good stuff. And every generation has its understanding of the good stuff. Yeah. Of the good or well placed or well brought up, or we have the standards. The person who's well brought up. I mean,
how do they
who
behave?
is this
How do
person?
they act?
Who came up with who is well brought up? Yeah. So each era has its own. If you listen to, or if you read some of these things, when people had to wear wigs and powder them in that era, it's the classy people who were freaking not showering. Yeah, the so-called up those ends, the kings and queens, yeah? And the layman was having a shower, and that was like, ew.
The queen was not showering.
You're not...
This is just for comedy, please.
I mean, each era comes with its standards. Now, remember the time where they had to put on sacks and their bums to make them look like they have big bums, and the gowns go like that, So there was an era where we were having all of these corsets that killed most women by the time.
You have to
because
have
you had to have a tiny waist, but very huge part.
So
and big boobies.
By the way,
everything.
Just speaking on that a little bit for like a minute. How, like, I've seen the classic, but yeah, those dresses. And like, so you have a corset on, right?
Yeah,
and you're squeezing your internals inside. Yeah. And then you have that metallic breast that they used to wear to make it seem like...
At some point, there were 2 pillows sewn that they had to put on each butt cheek. Yeah.
Why?
So each one has its standards. At the time, there was a standard. We had a person who was in a zoo where they would be like, I want to be like that. Let's see, where are the guys going to see? So we all started. At some point, there was also a time when to be too tiny was not, or to be big. Everything has its time.
Yeah.
There's a time where I could not have something to dress, not so far back. 2000 what? You would not get, the best you could do is those 2-in-1 t-shirts that were on,
Yeah.
And corduroy trousers, maybe. Those were the loose ones because they were designed for the guys. So now, even the big girlies can get their,
because
stuff going.
Because nyash is a thing now.
Yes,
It's
but
a
before
trend.
that, it wasn't a thing. You get what I'm trying to say? If the moment we appreciate that there's a lot that can change in the shortest time possible.
Yeah.
You cannot put yourself under pressure to fit into something. Yeah, I used to love bell bottoms at the time I was wearing them. They are back. I don't want. Yeah.
Yeah.
But someone else is excited about them. Yeah. So I mean, and that's why I keep telling people, when we put ourselves under too much pressure, you live and wear things that don't suit you, and then before you know it,
Chitaka. That's a nice one. Speaking of putting pressure on ourselves and all that. Is there a healthy way to seek, especially external validation, or is it just a constant slippery slope?
I think for me, every morning, I'm not doing that now because I'm on holiday, but always in the morning, I meditate for the day, give myself affirmations. It's going to be a beautiful day. No matter what happens, I'll be calm. I know what's best for me. I believe in myself and my children too. When I take them to kindergarten, I'm always telling them, you're beautiful, because I know they are also different in a different environment. So I have to, because I know how it affects so much when you hear what people think about you.
Yeah.
So I always tell them, it doesn't matter what other people think. It's what you think. And if you like this outfit, even though other people don't like this outfit, but you like it, you wear it. If you like to paint, other people don't want to paint, do it. So I always put this in them. You're beautiful. I believe in myself. I am strong, but also not to take on the limit whereby they will be arrogant. So that they can be able to protect themselves in a way that in case something happens to them, they know how to defend themselves or not to get hurt. Because growing up, we got so much heartbreak from what people think about us, crying, not leaving the bed because so and so said this about you, feeling so small about yourself. Like, it was like the worst kind of feeling that I would not want my children or any little ones to experience.
So what you're basically training them in is, because back to the question, is seeking external validation. Is there a healthy way to do it, or it's a slippery slope? What I'm getting from you is what you've done with yourself and what you've done with your kids is to help them understand that you know you better than everyone else. And so if you keep going out there to listen to what people think they know about you, you will keep doing that, and you will fall into a vicious cycle of, if you do not fall into the box that they've put you in, you feel like you do not belong anymore. And I like that you brought that aspect of it, because especially being in different environments, for us right now, it's easy here because we all look the same. Right? And picture this, we all look the same, but we still fall into that trap. Now imagine in an environment where we stand out. We're different. We can't blend in. That in and of itself messes with our esteem, and it forces us to maybe even choose or cope with unhealthy habits. So yes, I like that. Ruwe, you were saying it's a slippery slope also, right?
Yeah, that is quite true. But you see, this is also a skill now. And that is why usually it is either mastered throughout, your childhood growing up to being an adult, or now when you're an adult and have experienced a lot of things to help you realize that no matter what you do, someone's going to have something to say. Yeah, negative or otherwise. It's a skill that you then get to master. And every time you experience the freedom it comes with, then you learn to know that it's going to be first about you. That's the kind of level of selfish I like. The selfish where you need to love yourself first. That way you can stand up to that bully. You can stand up to what everyone thinks, doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to you. Because if you don't have that, you can't do all those things. Yes, you can't have the confidence. You can't have... Yes, thank you.
Not love yourself and love others.
It will be very difficult. And that is why the people who do this don't love themselves. And that's what I was going to get at. That every time that someone strives so hard to put you down, it's not you.
It's them.
It's them. They are insecure. They are unhappy. They are not confident in themselves. So basically, they're trying to find a way to drag you down with them, or so that they feel they belong in a certain, light, or. So at the end of the day, it means they have failed to love themselves.
Yeah.
So they cannot love the next person. Therefore, they develop a mechanism. Okay? Because if you've already seen the people who have because success is different for everyone.
Yeah.
Whoever has what to them is success, is not going to have a problem
with someone else
who seems
achieving
to have
what they consider their success.
Yeah, exactly. But it's quite often the rest of us were down here moping. We're not even trying to improve ourselves.
Yeah.
We're, so we try to look for how do I make
everyone else
feel like Charlie touch. So, and yet, if you put me and Maurice there, I'm not going to, trust me, but I'll have a lot to say. You'd think I'm an expert, eh? So, and that's the thing, because what she said, it means they're not capable of love. Because you can't tell me you can love someone else, but you can't love yourself.
That is true.
That is a hoax.
That is a hoax. Anyway, so again, as usual, pressed for time. So just one final question to the both of you. Just to close this out, what is a lesson about validation, whether self, whether external, that you have learned the hard way?
Not to listen to people's words.
Okay.
That has been the most lesson that I have learned, because sometimes when I listen to what people said, oh, maybe you should do this, oh, do it this way, and it didn't make me happy, but I always wanted to please people, so I did this because I thought maybe they are right. So I was not believing in myself. I believed in what other people said, even though it sounded really good. But then when I started to do my own things that I love, and things that I believe in, then that's when I started to see results, because that was the only way. Because how can I do something that I don't love? It will not work out.
Yeah.
I'm doing something else for someone to make them happy, but I'm not happy.
You're not happy.
But I'm doing something that I love. I put all my passion and everything that I believe in, so it will definitely work out.
Yeah.
So for me, that's how I've learned the hard way.
You've made Maurice very happy. I see him dancing. I see him dancing behind the camera. Yes, Rowena.
So one thing I've learned though is no matter what you do, and I think for me that is what taught me the lesson, that every time people had something to speak of my character, I have quite a very strong character that's very out there,
Yeah, I like it. I don't know what's wrong with other people.
Growing up, you'd think, oh, I need to,
I need to box myself in.
So even when you try to box yourself in, because my the boxing was boxing. So still someone had a problem, okay?
Yeah.
Then I figured, but I am not happy. And I think that's something we seem to be saying the same thing. And I realized, hey, I think it's about time I stopped trying to get people on my side. I want people to want to be on my side. It means by the time you're on my side,
you want to
be on my side. And I think that's the lesson I learned, that no matter what you do, and you try, and one thing I'm going to say, let us stop dimming our own lights just so that someone whose light is not dimming and they are not putting effort. I mean, someone who's not shining bright. Some of these people are just not putting effort. They're taking the shortcut of let me make Glosh look bad so that I'm the one who looks good. Yeah, so I'm not going to dim my light just for someone who's trying to take a shortcut. Yes, they're not trying, are they? To feel better about themselves. I'm sorry, and it's okay. I have met people who are not necessarily outstanding, but they have learned that is just who they are. Everyone has a role in life. Some people are there to be the silent movers. Yeah? I was on earth. And until we know this, people need to learn that everyone has a role they play, a purpose, in whichever way. You don't have to be like Roy.
Please don't.
You get what I'm trying to say?
I am
You
you.
don't have to be like Glosh. You don't have to be like Morris. You don't
Yeah.
have to be. So basically, and that's where the problem comes in. That is why these standards are set. Because someone is saying, maybe if I set this standard, then maybe I can be the one who shines.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? So I think, and for me, what I learned is the moment I said, fine, this is who I am. At more of a mind. Yeah? It played out, the puzzle just doop, doop, doop,
Yeah.
doop, doop, doop.
Things fall in line
You get what I'm trying to
by
say?
themselves. Yeah.
Then you do realize that secretly someone is actually, who is having a problem, is admiring. And quite often, if we over want validation, we lose ourselves. And these people who are admiring start to behave like you.
And yet you're trying to behave like them.
It's a vicious cycle. Ends up
So
becoming a
I think
vicious
in
cycle.
the end, let us love who we are. And I continue because if you love yourself, it means you're going to do what you want, what you love. You have freedom. Oh my God, there's nothing as beautiful as feeling free, flying like a bird. Because then the rest of the world can choose. Do they want to fly with you or stay on ground? So let us not dim our light. Let us appreciate ourselves more. That way we shall appreciate others more. And we shall be happy.
I don't even know. I can't top that. I can't top that because the entire time you were speaking, I was thinking, okay, how am I going to close off the episode? What am I going to say? What is going to be that tidbit of wisdom that I'm going to give? And I think you've put it very, very beautifully. So thank you so much, Glosh. Thank you so much, Rowena, for being here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, our viewers, of course, check us out on our social media, on YouTube at TalkTrack UG. Please, again, I'm seeking external validation right now. Hear this. I'm seeking external validation. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Yeah, and because every time you guys leave a comment, every time you guys put a thought there, we thrive off the feedback. It helps us grow, and it helps us, fine tune this whole thing. But it also shows us that what we're doing is engaging, and there is some belief in it. Of course, and feedback is beautiful. So, as per usual, the Talk Track is an independent production of the Kara Junkies. Produced, edited, sound mixed by Morris. I have been your host for tonight. My name is Roy. All you go with love, peace, and enjoy the Lenten season. Happy Ramadan. Yeah, drink less and have, and to our Muslim brothers, Ramadan. We're with you in all this. And the Christian, yes, I said having a beautiful Lenten season. Fast and pray. Rowena said if you feel cranky, drink a little. But thank you so much for being here with us today, and we'll see you all next Sunday. Until then, peace out.